Oh, jeez. Oh, you're drinking this smoke beer now?
I will later. I just put the cap on so it'll get flat. Because it does get a little bad once it hits over 55 degrees.
It's so smoky. I realized how big of a wuss I truly am. Okay, do I have everything I need to be going right? I have that going, which is you. I have this going. I have 2 people, 1.5 people on Zoom.
You guys get to guess who the half is.
Well,
I think we should. You should stop throwing shade on your own son there.
Oh, man.
I have to because it's the only way I can live a superior life. Okay.
He's going to be changing your diaper someday. You know that.
Well, no, that's his girlfriend's job. She's going into geriatric medicine, so she'll be the one changing my diaper.
Exactly. Okay, I'm glad you guys are comfortable enough.
And a hot soapy enema.
Hey, guys, we're recording.
Oh.
I want to note that the last thing that Paul Main said before we started recording was
hot soapy enema.
Yep.
There it is. Oh, you know what? I was supposed to do this before I hit the theme, but that's what professional broadcasters do. Before I begin, big thanks to our friends at Scratch Labs. Have you checked out their website over at Scratch Labs? I mean this seriously, really. It is so much more than just a place to buy great fuel, and hydration is also a great community of ideas, including recipes. For example, I was on there today, and they have Scratch Recovery Pancakes. Makes about 8 pancakes, flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, milk, butter, egg, and 2 scoops of Scratch Recovery Mix. Jackson, think about a chocolate-flavored pancake.
Don't mind if I do.
I know, right? Or even I'd put the coffee in there. The coffee flavored in a pancake. Would that be good? I don't know. But you guys can decide it out for yourselves. Try it out. I'm going to do it this weekend for sure. ScratchLabs.com. Also, it can't be time to talk about cycling without saying Gooder sunglasses. Check out their newest offerings. The Mach G's. If Joe Biden wore Gooders, these would be the ones he wore. And I'm not intentionally getting political. It's just a brilliant fashion observation. Get over to Gooder.com. Check out the coolest, affordable, high-performance eyewear out there. Now, let's see. Get to this show. This is when I was supposed to hit the theme, and now that it's already running, whose professional career am I going to ruin in tonight's podcast? It's almost the end of August. Bike races are happening. I can't believe I'm saying this, but in August, it is time for the Tour de France. Oh, and Chris Froome isn't in it. Nor is Geraint Thomas. We'll get to that one. Nor is Paul Main.
No.
And the entire house of cards could fall at any moment, if you ask me, in my personal opinion, or at the mention of COVID's 3 times into a mirror. Don't jinx it, anybody. Keep your fingers crossed for the next 3 weeks. With me are members of the Packfiller in person. Here, the guy who I blame for my obsession with beer I can't pronounce, Paul Main.
Hi, Pat. That's a great title. Thanks.
Yeah, and I want to know the story behind that smoky thing I bought. I just bought a label. You sent me a video link about all beer types defined, and I spent an hour of my life watching this video, and I was like, okay, I gotta try all these. And the Marzen one sounded great, German Marzen beer.
That's coming up though. That's Oktoberfest.
Well, that's what that one I bought was, but I didn't realize
the Rauch.
Yeah,
No.
it says Marzen on it.
Well, yeah. No, anyway, go ahead.
I see Marzen. I assume it's a Marzen. This not a Marzen.
Right.
It was a smoke beer.
That's a Rauch beer.
It smelled like somebody lit it on fire and then
I
just
love
let it
those.
cool. Do you really?
Well,
Okay.
when I drank.
Oh,
it's,
that's true.
Rauch beer.
Rauch beer. On the line, the guy who I credit for my gene pool being used for something other than drinking unpronounceable beer as well as owning a lot of nerdy audio equipment, Jackson Bulger.
Hello.
There, man. And number 3, he's been away for a bit, but never from our hearts. You know him as the disc brake gravity lovable smartass who likes to bang pots together. Karsten Hagen, how are you, dude?
Hi.
Are we? He looked sideways at the camera, not knowing that I'm the only one who's seeing the Zoom call, but that's okay because it shows your upper
Oh, really?
thigh.
This isn't live.
No.
Good. So I can be naked.
Not for my sake or
I don't
Jackson's.
know if I'd love
Well,
that
we all
either.
because you are. I mean, You should be honest with your audience.
I'm not. I'm wearing my cool shirt that Jackson bought me. I'll show that to the camera. Yeah.
This close from wearing the one that I have.
Were you? We could have been twins. Could have twinning it. And before I continue with the show, if anybody sees a gentleman by the name of Jack Broadhead, please report it to authorities.
I just got a text from him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is he? Did he get out of the well?
Well, he's in California right
Lassie rescue him?
He's in California.
You got a text from Jack Broadhead.
Yeah. Yeah, because I inspected one of his jobs today in Spokane. He
Did
flew
you
out of town.
fail it?
No.
Damn.
He's a good electrician.
Oh.
He's not much of a bike rider today, but he is a good electrician.
We need to get an update on how many times that guy's ridden in 2020.
I think it was just
One.
one
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah. And also, before we begin, we are live on YouTube, as we usually are weekly. You're only going to see two of us right now on YouTube, but if you're listening to this as a podcast, know that you can catch it on YouTube, and you can participate. You can participate. For those of you wondering where the Packfiller Classic prizes are, know that I will indeed send them as soon as I get paid, which is Monday. So, hey, this is me pulling back the curtain. I am a real guy, and I got to wait until I get paid to afford.
How about this? You'll get paid as soon as people start ordering more Manscaped, and then you can send it out.
God damn, that was good.
Thank you.
I wish I wouldn't have burped beer during the middle of that idea, because that was a great idea. If everybody just went out and ordered more Manscaped and all those sorts of wonderful...
You could send out these wonderful gifts to all those
quicker
people. Yeah.
and consistently.
Yeah.
God damn, that's good. Big thanks to Dan B. Rider Honey, Dan was a rider in the Packfiller Classic. He brought by a case of his own in-farm made honey, and I've been giving it out to the riders who've been coming by my house to pick up their swag prizes, so I don't have to send it to them. And brilliant stuff. So if you're able to get some of it, grab it. It's delicious. I've been putting it in my morning oatmeal because I saw that.
The time delay on the YouTube thing is so annoying.
Well, don't watch it.
Don't watch the YouTube.
I gotta turn it off. It's just, oh my god.
Yeah.
You're not in it anyway.
Yeah.
I know, but I like Pat's basement so much. Yeah, I've got basement envy.
That's a nice basement.
Yeah.
He was doing some karate in it earlier.
I was.
Yeah.
Cutting up fruit.
Some pumpkins.
And sword and doing karate in the basement. Before we get to the future, let's catch up. First of all, Mr. Karsten Hagen, I haven't talked to you in a long time, other than the fact that you leave voicemails on my phone saying I never pick up my phone or something like that. How you been? You been riding? I want to know all three of us who's been riding, but I'll start with you.
Been riding a lot, even uphill. And
whoa,
yeah.
What?
I mean, I kind of peaked a couple weeks ago, and I think I did like a 14-hour week 2 weeks ago.
14-hour week.
Yeah, which is for me is a lot.
Did your car break down?
No, just trying to get thin and fast again. It's been hard lately because it's been smoky out, so I've been doing a lot of Zwift. Kind of got motivated to do that Zwift off the map thing, so I did all 4 of those. And hopefully Thursday I get outside again. But yeah, I've been riding a lot.
Very cool.
I've lost 20 pounds since
dude.
May.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Way to go, man. That's fucking awesome.
I got 20 to go. I got a goal weight of 210, so we'll see what happens.
I was talking to my wife about it the other day, and I have a hard time talking to my wife about it because she gets mad at me because she's like, "Stop obsessing over this." But I have another.
We're bike racers, of course. We're gonna obsess about.
I have another 15 pounds to go myself, I think.
You know what? It helps with your wife. Just
13 pounds.
Don't ask her if your butt looks fat in this. Don't say that to her because that's when they start getting pissed off.
Yeah. She'll say yes. It's not this. It's your butt. Yeah. Jackson Bulger, you've been in Portland for a little over a week, back to Portland. First of all, how are you handling the riots outside your door? And second of all, does it allow for good interval training?
Yeah, things have been good. You know, no riots going on outside of my door, thankfully. Been doing. Last week I had a pretty good week. I could feel my knee hurting a little bit, so I took a day off or something like that. But then I kind of got back on it. Been riding in a kind of a local park to me, Forest Park, and exploring the roads around here. Did a good 114-mile week or something like that last week, and got out today and did a little long sustained effort. So yeah, things have been going well.
Nice. You've gotten more than your old man. I have been out. Well, I got Saturday and Sunday out, and I need to apologize to Paul when I get to my turn. But and then I haven't done much this week since then. But Paul, how's your cycling been?
We rode together
Saturday, yeah,
and then Sunday I just went out by myself and kind of ditched around. Yeah,
and that's been it.
Yeah, 2 days.
Guys, are we getting to the time of the year where it's like this? Is anybody planning on backing off? Is it like, okay, it's towards the tail end of the summer, I'm going to take a little time off the bike? You know, I'm not going to say cross is coming because some assholes always say cross is coming. Oh, shit, I did it. But is anybody planning like that? And I remember it used to be the end of the season, and then you'd rest, and then you'd start back up or something like that. Nobody?
Not me.
Well, I don't think we really had a season to rest from.
Very good point.
So in my opinion, I'm thinking, why not ramp it up, you know?
So you're going to go higher intensity.
Exactly. You know, just screw school. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
Karsten, do you have anything on the horizon, or are you just kind of training to get fitness back?
That's it. I mean, but I'm just trying to, get back some self-esteem and some fitness. But I will say, as a member of the OBRA board of directors,
Ooh.
We are offering in August. We have an August contest to see who can ride the most classic OBRA race courses or most miles on these courses.
That's
posted
cool.
on ridewithgps.com. So, the 2005 OBRA Road Championships course, which is kind of agreed to be the classic Oregon champion course, and then we are also planning. We haven't executed it yet, but we're going to have a few cyclocross courses open for Ride with GPS or Strava. We're going to run in a time trial format. So basically, all the barriers will be up, all the furniture will be up.
Wow.
You have you can post your. Basically, you're going to be running it as a honors time trial. And I don't know what the time. I'm assuming we're going to give you a couple of weeks, and at the end of that, the winner's the winner.
Jackson is a Portlandian. Are you listening to this?
I am. I'm taking note.
Yeah.
See how far I can drive to find all these things.
I think Jackson. I think you can count on. I'm pretty sure you can count on Alpenrose, and Alpenrose we have access to because of the velodrome.
Yeah.
And I know that one is the one we've been talking about the most as a board, but I don't know about the other courses. We'll see.
Cool. That piques my interest.
That's a really creative idea.
Yeah.
Setting up, especially like I'm thinking like the cross course, setting it up as, the whole course is dialed in and ready to go. Are they going to have to show up on scheduled appointment times in order to avoid crowds or something like that?
Boy, that's one of the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want people out there at the same time, like breathing on each other and snotting on each other and stuff. But you never know. Like, it's going to go to.
Yeah.
What's interesting is if all the barriers are up and all the course tape is up for a couple of weeks, somebody's going to have to be out there to make sure it stays up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to have some volunteers out there to be able to, make sure that everything's in place. So there's a lot of logistics going on, but it's something that's basically the focus of the last board meeting last week.
I think that's a really cool idea to give, again, like my middle of the night mini epiphany. Basically, I had to go to the bathroom, but I thought of this at the same time, of the classic, just being able to think of how can people go out and find a reason to go hard, even though they're not able to go hard with other people. That's a creative path, and I think that's really cool. And hopefully it works.
You could. Why not? With the exception of the downtown crit, you guys could reenact Watch It and Trust.
Oh, Jesus. We could just not the Mount Spokane stage. We're all a little too burnt out on Mount Spokane right now.
That one.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. We shouldn't have our downhill race. Just shouldn't happen.
Yeah. I think we're all going to agree that the disc versus rim discussion is just going to continue on.
Yeah, and we
all know I'd win.
No, the question was already answered.
Yeah.
On Milan Sanremo this year, by the way. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Eat some crow, my friend. You want some salt and pepper?
That was funny, and I'm glad you brought it up. I'll acknowledge.
Gentlemen, let's get to the headlines, shall we? First and foremost, starting off is obviously we are a very short time away from the Tour de France, but I believe that there are a couple things that we need to go into and discuss before we actually get to the Tour. And because they do have some bearing upon where the Tour de France is going to be going and riders involved within the Tour de France, and the fact that Paul left my refrigerator door open. First story here, Bora Hansgrohe rider tests negative for COVID-19 hours after positive test. I don't know if you guys heard about this most recently. A rider who on Tuesday morning tested positive has now tested negative for the virus, the team has announced. They were forced to withdraw from the Bretagne Classic, Ouai France. I probably pronounced it improperly, but I gave it my best shot. Following a test result on Tuesday, the riders and the staff of the team tested negative later, including this unnamed riders. So there have been several scenarios involving this. For example, Astana's Hugo Houle, and U23 World Cyclocross Champion Inge van der Heijden. And again, I apologize if I destroy your names, but I'm just going to keep rolling with it, kind of Bob Roll style. They both tested positive and then negative after taking specific tests within the last week. So my first thing to address to you guys is any thoughts, especially, I don't know, the fact that maybe the biggest fucking race of the year is about a week away, and the potential for these false positives happening. Paul had his hand in the air, so I have visual on Paul, and he had his hand up first.
I'm going to let you know, Larry Warbass, who writes for AG Desire, he just tested positive, and he goes, "I don't understand." He goes, "I am anal. No one, I haven't been hardly anywhere. Don't know where it's come from." He says, I can't even imagine. But these negatives are coming up. I think the NFL had 74 that tested positive. They ended up being negative later in the NFL for their training camps. So I've heard. So that is a factor. So let's keep that in mind. And the Tour rules is that if two people on the team get a positive, no matter if mechanics, soigneurs, the whole team's withdrawn. So it may not even be a rider. It could be two mechanics or a soigneur and a mechanic, and somebody in the yellow jersey has to pull out.
Yeah.
What's the? I'm just curious what the results rate for the NBA has been since they've been playing.
That I don't know.
I'd be curious to know.
Yeah.
But we're talking about, how about the concept of COVID potentially stopping everything? I have read and seen some discussions of people saying, the Tour de France right now is a house of cards, and it could collapse at any given moment. I mean, I don't want to sound like the president. Some people are saying that it might not even make Sunday start, because of some freakish COVID realization or anything like that. How comfortable are you guys, panel, of the tour not only happening, but happening through to its entirety? Jackson, you got any ideas?
Yeah, well, I think
light a spear of that.
I'm hoping to stay hopefully optimistic when it comes to all this stuff. I think that this is what, like, the fact that things could derail so quickly is something that both makes this season, I think, interesting and exciting, because like we were just saying, at any moment the yellow jersey could be pulled out of the race and everything's flipped on its head. I mean, we saw last week with the Dauphiné, Roglic had to pull out, not thankfully because of COVID reasons, but because of crashes, and that flipped the entire race on its head. Now, in the terms of the whole race being kind of curtailed, I hope that doesn't happen. Fortunately, in the time we're in, it can happen.
Yeah.
But like I already stated before, I'm choosing to stay hopefully optimistic and knocking 3 times on wood every opportunity I can.
Trying to figure out if you got this optimism from your mother, who isn't who isn't optimistic, or me, who pretends to be optimistic. Because personally, I'm just sitting here going, "Oh shit, it's gonna all go to hell." Maybe it's just because 2020 has just kicked us so repeatedly in the solar plexus that it's just, you never know if you're gonna, from day to day, what's gonna happen. Oh, cool! Hey, locusts. You're going to wake up in the morning, the sun is on fire. Well, it always is. But now the planet's on fire, but things like that. Karsten, what are your thoughts on it making it through without COVID fucking everything up?
I'm going to remind everybody that this is not the first Tour de France wherein a slurry of positive medical tests has threatened to bring it down.
Well put.
So we've been here before to a degree, and also it's clear to me that the testing is flawed, and that if it's just one positive, then they're going to have to immediately offer a retest. So
how quickly?
It's almost like drug testing, where an A sample proves positive, they also need to be able to test the B sample. It's sort of the same thing. They need to give the rider a second chance.
Can those I don't know enough about the COVID tests. Is there the ability to? I would assume that you would be able to turn it around quickly enough and test that rider twice or test that mechanic twice.
In Larry Warboss's situation, he tests positive. I just heard today, and it probably was like, because I heard it in the United States today. It probably happened yesterday, but he's getting tested again to see if negative. So we're looking at a day delay. So do you incorporate that rider in there till the B test comes, or do you pull them out?
If that rider is truly positive, how many more people can that rider infect in that?
If you do 2 tests, right? So everybody's getting back a lot of. It seems like more positive. There's not. I haven't heard too many, even outside of sports, where you have a negative and they're actually positive. It's turned around.
I have a good friend who's a respiratory nurse, and I'm going to ask her right now. So hopefully we'll have an answer by the end of the podcast.
Okay, that'll be
It's 48 hours. There's several different tests that are more accurate. The longer ones.
In a 3-week stage race.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So there's a quick one. Go ahead.
I know that, for instance, like here in America, if you do test positive, they have to let you know. This is obviously with citizens, they have to let you know within 74 or 72 hours, I think. Obviously, that's probably elevated in professional sport. They probably know pretty quickly. I think, Paul, you say 48 hours?
Yeah, I'm guessing because Larry Warboss's test was probably yesterday, or pop positive yesterday, or maybe Monday.
But the potential of that missing 24 hours is catastrophic to budgets, to athletes, to the sport in a whole. My God, I mean, it could send it all crashing down just within that 24-hour window, and then all of a sudden, oops, sorry. It's kind of in a very vague way, it reminds me of the Peter Sagan versus Mark Cavendish crash, where Peter Sagan was sent home, and after a while, people started watching it going, well, maybe it wasn't Sagan's fault. And Sagan's going, thank you very much. Now I'm fucking stuck at home. I just say that. I pinch my nose because Sagan has a nasally voice, and I love the dude. But there you go. Bad impression notwithstanding.
But point
Yeah.
made. Yes.
So, that 24 hours could completely shut the lights off.
Yeah. Especially if it's a leader.
Yeah.
He has to withdraw. And then the travesty of it all is if his second test is if he's positive the first time, second, no, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah. Do I have a bookmark?
Can he catch up?
Yeah.
Can I just ride the stage at night and suddenly be back into the game? Yeah. There's so many question marks hanging on the horizon. It's starting to scare me.
But you got to march forward.
Yeah.
It just has to happen. And I know it's going to be. It'll be something for everybody to talk, journalists to spin. Everybody's going to. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it has to go on. The show must go on.
Oh, I don't have I only have this.
Go away,
but how do you guys envision this crowd control? This is, to quote the great John Tesh, the Super Bowl of cycling. Jackson's like, no fucking clue what they're talking about. But do you guys envision true crowd control here? Are Europeans just that much smarter and more empathetic than Americans? We know the answer to that. But are they that much more smart and not smart? Well, I don't know. Empathetic to be able to understand the importance of this event? We've got the NBA. Sure, it's working because it's in a bubble. These guys are living, sleeping, and probably doing beer enemas in hotels at Disneyland. We don't have that ability.
Oh, they're playing?
Yeah. Believe it or not, you don't give a shit.
No, I know.
But I know. But these guys are doing this in this completely encapsulated, dome of isolation. You can't do that in bike racing.
Nope.
The negative demon on my shoulder is just going, it's gonna fuck up, and somebody's gonna fuck up.
It's a 3-week tour. It's something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It always does, doesn't it? Even if it wasn't COVID.
Yeah, it does either way. Like something always happens anyway.
That's why we like it.
But not when I'm not going to like it when I find out that so-and-so tested. I don't want to say their name because if I say a pro cyclist name on this podcast, they're fucked. I don't want to. I don't want to hear that so-and-so got tested positive and then 2 days later found out, oops, sorry, and he's at home. And I don't know. I don't know if I haven't. I don't know if you guys can comfort me enough at this time.
Do you think that? Hold on. Do you think that maybe? I know we're trying to solve the problem here, and we certainly can. But do you think that they may have already thought of this?
No,
they're French.
Oh, yes. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Right. All right, continuing on with news stories. Roglic still unsure his ability to fight for overall victory at the Tour after his crash at the Criterium du Dauphiné is still in doubt. I'm reading from our friends over at Cycling News. Conflicting reports about his health and recovery. His partner, Laura Klink, there's a gigantic Hogan's Hero reference in there.
Boy,
you idiot!
I go there.
Primos! She has gone as far as to suggest a final decision has not been made on whether he will take start in Nice on Saturday or not. His team is saying, yeah, we're all good. The person who sleeps next to him is saying, I don't fucking know. Oh my God. What are our thoughts on this? And yes, we all picked our riders before this podcast, right? But I think we do have a buffer of time to suddenly change, and I'm saying that on purpose. Anybody got any thoughts on the fact of Primoz not starting?
I think that I think two things here. I think first of all, if he is unable to start, I think that sucks for Jumbo Visma,
Oh
but
my
I also think they have such a deep squad that they could almost be like, okay, Roglic isn't here, we're going to bet on Dumoulin. So that they do have a very deep squad and a lot of great riders in their ranks, but I also think that it's a little way to create drama, you know. How do we get press around our team? You know, I think that I've heard multiple other things about Roglic. He went down, but he's completely cool to start back up again. So I don't know. I think maybe it could be a great way of just saying, hey, let's get a little publicity around our team, because Ineos is going through so much right now, anyways.
They want more drama.
They might want a few more cameras on them.
It probably sells whatever widget they're hawking. I guess you're right. It keeps them in the public spotlight. Jesus, that was good, Jackson.
Interesting take.
Yeah, Paul, any take on that one?
I think, the guy is a tough as nails, because
amen. Yeah.
If he does start, doesn't matter what his position the first week is, as long as he can hang in the front group. That guy is. I haven't seen anybody a harder man in cycling in a long time. In my opinion, I think he can do it. Whether he's really damaged and banged up, that's another thing. But I think Jumbo Visma has quite a few options. I mean, George Bennett's going well, but I don't know if he's a Tour winner. I don't think this is we'll get into that later probably. But like for Dumoulin, there's only one time trial.
Yeah.
And that's where he really shines. So I think if he does start, he's certainly got to be up there. If he doesn't start, that's going to shuffle. The odd makers are going to be scrambling big time.
Kreiswick
gone.
Yeah. Wow. That just the team on paper 3 weeks ago was perfection.
Yeah.
And now it's looking.
And people are saying that about Ineos too.
Yeah. Carson, anything on this one? And he's gone.
Is he?
No, he's not. I could still see his face.
He's texting.
I was muted.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. In terms of who I think is going to win, or what? What's the question?
No, we're just talking about in terms of Primož Roglic, the possibility of his starting. There have been rumors surrounding the fact that his injuries are a little bit more than we thought they might have been.
Well, if he doesn't start, we got Dumoulin, and it's to me he's a clear favorite. To me it's Dumoulin, Bernal, and
we're getting into the Tour predictions too early.
Oh, okay. Then I mean, Jumbo Visma's the strongest team for sure.
Yeah,
and
certainly
Ineos is flailing for sure.
We all got punched in the gut after our last podcast. It was funny that we did the show, correct me if I'm wrong, last Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And Wednesday, so much information came out. First of all, the fact that the next day it was dropped that Froome and Geraint Thomas were not selected to Ineos. And I think one of you guys, Paul did, texted me at 6 a.m. going, we did the show too early. Because it was just, and the sad thing is correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, it's almost old news right now, being able to talk about and say something about the fact. But I do, before we truly get into the Tour predictions, what you guys think of the fact that 5-time Tour winners, 5 Tour winners, Carson's in the kitchen, 5 with Froome with 4 and Thomas with 1 are being left out of this year's Tour.
That means we have an interesting Tour finally.
You think so?
I mean, come on. There's nobody more boring than Froome. I mean, the guy was born going, meh. He didn't even cry when he came out of the womb. He just said, meh.
It wasn't a W-A-A-A-H. It was a M-E-H.
Yeah. I was just saying, meh.
Meh. I'm here.
The doctor was like, "Here's your baby."
He kept looking down.
And then slapped his wife.
Yeah,
Slapped the woman.
exactly.
Yeah. Mother. Thanks.
Jackson, I love your youthful perspective to this. You're not jaded yet. And in terms of like not allowing these guys into the race. I mean, Thomas wasn't really sucking, was he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that this could be harsh to say, but I think, I mean, personally, I didn't expect Chris Froome to go to the Tour. I think he's still getting back to the old Chris Froome.
Yeah.
I think he's still trying to work back to that. I think that, and I also think that taking all three of those big egos to the Tour is a lot to deal with, and I think that, unfortunately, I think Ineos, now Grenadiers or something like that, is looking to the future, because I think they have to a little bit. Bernal's only 23 or something like that. He's got a lot of years left in him, and I don't think they want to screw the pooch on that one. He's the next generation of Ineos, so I think that they kind of had to please him. And I think that while Gerrans has said that he's cool with taking the Giro, I think he's probably a little pissed off. But I think he gets another Grand Tour, and I think he gets to be the leader at a Grand Tour. So I think he'll probably be, when the Giro arrives, I think he'll probably be happy with it.
And I know, Carson, what you had to say about Froome, but part of me's like, that's pretty shitty. At least to give him something. I mean, what is he going to ride Spain again and hope that he can do something there, or just hit pause and wait until Israel Startup Nation? Who knows? I guess. God, I don't know. It's I
think what's going to happen to Chris Froome is that he's going to simply shrug his shoulders and crawl into his pod, and next spring he'll wake up and step out and
you'll think he'll be. You think he'll be fast?
He's like C-3PO. He just shuts down, and then when the next race season comes around, he wakes up and says, "Oh, hello, it's time to ride my bike again." Like I don't really think I don't know if it affects him that much.
Dude, that C-3PO reference is brilliant. That is well done.
You.
It's like, oh, do you mind if I power down now? Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Oh my God.
So I'm not a fan. You can tell.
No, I'm trying to get an idea of what you're trying to say. But hey, you guys, should we get to it? Let's get to the Tour de France time. All right. Time for everybody to put their money where their mouths are, or in this case, the kid of shame where their upper torso is. But before we do that, hey, did you guys know that 2020 has been the year of things happening that are completely out of control? No shit. But there is one thing you can control, and that is shaving your bush. Our sponsors at Manscaped are here to remind you to do so. I don't know if you guys knew that the lawnmower, it's called the Lawnmower 3.0. Great device. I own one myself. So do several other people on this podcast. It is waterproof, and it comes with an LED light so you can manscape in the shower, in the dark, or in a dark shower. Whatever floats your boat. If you're into that sort of thing, you want to shave your junk while in the dark, you want to take that chance, you want to roll those dice, you're going to be safe with Manscaped. So you got to try out all that kind of stuff. Go to manscaped.com. Check out some of these life-changing products. In fact, listeners to this show are going to get 20% off plus free shipping using the code PFP. Packfiller Podcasts. Paul has something to say in the middle of my sponsored
Go ahead,
read.
finish it, and then I'm going to...
At manscaped.com, that is 20% off, free shipping. Use the code PFP. It's time to grab 2020 by the horns by shaving that front trunk. Thanks to those guys.
So I'm thinking, if you do it in the dark and they have the little LED, I'm going to give a suggestion to them. Have a strobe, so it's kind of like a rave while you're shaving. And then have your music pumped in as you're... Wouldn't that be great? If you have a strobe option.
If you really got hairy junk while you're shaving, the light might splinter into that laser beam effect that would cause a pattern on the wall while you're doing it.
So really, in both cases, we're really walking the line of, are we going to cut ourselves, or are we just going to like keep
No,
on,
you can't with this.
You can't.
That's true. It's Nick proof.
Yeah.
Jackson.
I'm telling you.
Here's my question, and this is specifically for Pat. Does it come with a magnifying glass as well as the light?
Oh.
You
Nick
you
proof.
bastard.
It's Nick
you
proof.
bastard. First of all, I have used the device, and I really hope my current students aren't listening to this. And second of all, works like a charm. And third of all, no, I don't need a magnifying glass. I'm an Irish Catholic. Never mind.
Yeah, sure. That you guys are known for.
All right, gentlemen. 21 days, 9 flat stages, 3 quote hilly stages, 8 mountainous stages, 1 time trial, and 2 rest days. This year is event, in my personal opinion, is not messing around. I don't know if you guys have been able to. Paul has a document in front of him, so he's able to see a little bit of a stage breakdown in terms of what's going on. Carson, you said you've researched Jackson. You've probably been spending time on YouTube, and you've also probably filled out your documents. So I have each stage breakdown in front of me here, but I do want to just get an overall thought in terms of, first of all, the time of when this event is happening. These guys are coming into this event with far less season preparation, and there's so much left up in the air. Usually at the Dauphiné, in the past, we've seen riders who are really starting to kind of get into their own. I don't know if we can use the Dauphiné as much of a indicator as we were able to see in past years. As far as the other sprinters, in far as of time trial specialists, in terms of attacking riders, we haven't been able to see very much of it. And so there's so much in the air. And so I guess I want to start off by just asking, does anybody have any true kind of I don't know, a theme or just a general, this race is going to completely flip the cycling world on its ass, or it's going to be boring, or it's going to be dramatic, or we're going to see a new change of the guard? Anybody? Carson, Paul's he's kind of looking at me.
No.
Nice haircut, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
No.
You got a nice haircut, too.
Yeah.
I think already it's going to be a historic tour. I mean, it's one of the first that's ever happened in August. Probably the first that's ever happened in August, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know that stat. I would agree that it is, but I wouldn't go out on a limb and say nope, never.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. We're already in a time like we've rarely seen before. So I think already we're going to be. Someday I'll be looking at my grandchildren and saying, "I remember when COVID hit and all of this had to be changed." I think, and Carson said it before. I think it's going to be a more not more interesting tour, but I think it's going to be an interesting tour this year. I think. As we're already seeing, I don't think that Ineos is going to control, and I think that things are going to be much more of a competition. I think we've got more names than we have being said in the now than we have in the past. Before it was Froome's going to win, Ineos is going to win. And now we have names like Danny Martinez, Tadej Pogačar, Primož Roglič, all from different teams, and I think that's just it's a different tour now, and I think that's way more exciting.
Do you equate that to the year or just to evolution of the sport?
A little bit of both. I think that obviously people have gotten older and people have had to kind of take a back seat to the young generation, unfortunately. I know.
Rub it in.
Yeah.
But I also think that this has given opportunities to riders that may have been injured or may have maybe not been in their peak form when the season was supposed to take place. And I think that things, I don't know. Obviously, things are going to be different, and things are going to be. I think they're going to be fun in the next 3 weeks, and I think we're going to be crusty-eyed and excited for the next 3 weeks because we can't stop watching.
How about the whole Ineos concept? Ineos is almost, well, it isn't almost. We get the super teams. We get the Lavi Claires. We get the, I'm trying to think of other teams you guys might be able to chime in. The U.S. Postals, the Benesto, yeah, teams that really just come in, have the huge budget, and just decimate everybody else. Ineos has been the at least of this decade, which was Sky to Ineos, been one of those unbeatable squads. Are we seeing potentially the collapse of the great Ineos?
Yes,
Carson,
absolutely. And I wonder if this team can rally behind Bernal like they did. I just don't think they're prepared. I don't think they can be mentally. I think Jumbo's Visma is that team now.
At a much lower budget, from what I understand, too. Yeah.
Sure.
Makes me happy.
But me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree a little bit, but I think they'll bounce back. I just don't have a feeling they're going to win this year. Things got scrambled up a little bit. As you can tell, people weren't coming into shape like Geraint Thomas, and then Froome wasn't coming around, then switching teams. And but I think they're going to put on a good show. Although Bernal didn't really look so well during the Dauphiné. And
back issues. Yeah.
But that could be an issue, or it could be a nice break. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think Pavel Sivakov, that guy is the one to watch. That's on Ineos.
Oh yeah.
The things like Jackson mentioned Pogačar, and do you know when the last debutante, somebody who won the Tour the first time they enter it, who was the last one?
Laurent Fignon.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's been a while.
The professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the last French winner was
Bernardino.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody's a lot of people are pointing to Pinot, and it'll be interesting to see.
Thibaut Pinot. Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. Was the last French winner? Wasn't?
Yes.
Nope.
Didn't.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Yeah.
You
want me to? We had an episode I went.
Paul
way
actually
back.
went like the last 20 years and just rattled them off. It was.
Okay.
It was kind of attractive. Kind of turned
I'm
me
very
on.
uncomfortable in the same room.
It was really. If I didn't have to maintain 6 feet, Paul. Other teams that we think might show something unexpected.
EF.
EF.
Yeah. Jackson, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think EF and UAE are gonna be the two teams that are gonna be a little bit surprising for me.
I would throw in Bora Hansgrohe.
Yeah.
With Buchmann.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to individual categories. Top sprinters.
Wait, didn't Buchmann get hurt? Am I wrong about that?
He did. You got it, but he's on the start list.
As of last report.
Okay.
So is that going to change your list of who's going to finish?
Yeah, well, it might change mine. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I mean,
because he's had a stellar year up until his injury. Yeah, he's on there right now.
So let's go to categories here, shall we? Top sprinters. I'll name off some names just to throw out to you, but you guys can obviously pick your own, and then we'll eventually get to who you actually chose if you've chosen yet. Excuse me, boy, these German beers are burpy. Sprinters, obviously Peter Sagan returning to try and just crush the green jersey record. Bennett, Caleb Ewan, Viviani. I know we've got a lot of big sprinters that are in this race. They're getting punched in the face. Our first stage is flat, but the stage 2 has got 2 Category 1 climbs and 1 Category 2 climbs. So there's not going to be a whole lot of glory, especially early on, that we're used to seeing for these sprinters. And with those types of climbs, what's that going to do to some of our sprinters who can't handle these types of efforts? I guess I'll open it up to the panel. Anybody got an idea in terms of who you're? I know Jackson's pick. I would assume a 2-0. I'm going to let Jackson go first.
Okay. I am. Luckily, I put these two in my team. I am
Spoilers.
wobbling. Are we getting to that later in the show?
No, you can get into it. Don't worry about it. I'm kidding.
These two. Well, my first pick is obvious. It's Peter Sagan. I think that he's one of the few sprinters that can get over those hills and still be in the bunch. And then I think his biggest rival this year, for the green jersey at least, is going to be Wout van Aert. I think that he is obviously we've seen that he's a proven winner, and I think that he is. He might have to work for Roglic on the flatter stages, but I think he also could take that because he can climb a little bit.
I didn't even think about that.
It reminds you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of what's his name? Spanish dude that just retired.
Spanish
dude
that just retired.
Old Spanish dude that just retired last year. Well, he can sprint. He's not a classic sprinter, but neither is Sagan. Why am I blanking on his name? Oh my God, he just retired last year.
What team?
Movistar.
You're thinking of Valverde, right?
Yeah, Valverde. That's it.
He's still
still
racing.
Yeah, he's still going.
Yeah.
I thought he retired.
He's in the tour, dude.
He says he's good for 3 more years.
Yeah.
Believe
what?
That? Yeah, I know. That's what we all say. He's going to be 40, 42. So.
Some sort of.
Right.
I was 42 once.
He reminds me of Valverde, 5-6 years ago. That's who he reminds me of.
Peter Sagan.
Versatile, can climb. No.
Wout van Aert. Wout van Aert.
Wout van Aert.
Yeah. I could see that. I can agree with you on that one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm leaning my way towards. I really want Peter Sagan to win another jersey, but I'm leaning towards Ireland.
To Bennett.
Yeah, Sam Bennett. I think he's got it. I know Caleb Ewan's going to win some stages. I don't want him to, but I understand. Caleb Ewan, you know what? I have to apologize to Mark Cavendish because there were years that I've said on this podcast that I didn't like him, and I think it was his attitude. And he was spry and cocky, which you definitely need to be as a sprinter, and I don't think I liked it. And now Mark Cavendish is being so much more relaxed and cool, and he's not riding the tour, which is probably because he's being more relaxed and cool. And Caleb Ewan's still a cocky little punk, and I don't like him. So he's my new Mark.
I don't know what it is about that personality type, but I've never seen a classic sprinter to be anything but cocky and annoying.
Because you have to believe in yourself when you're shooting the gap or whatever. That's all.
You also have to be somewhat psychotic.
Yeah.
Well, that's my gap. It's not like I wonder if I can fit in that gap. That's my gap. I am God.
Well, my take on it is I think Caleb Ewing will be the one that's going to challenge him because he can climb. Milan San Remo, he did well. He got second when Nibali climbed. So he has that potential to hang in there. And he has a team that's not going for GC, and they're going for sprints. And let's face it, if you look at the stages, a flat stage is not flat.
No,
not like the old days. So there's always
aren't.
at least a category 3, 4, or something right before the finish. There's a good long run in on some of those.
Every flat stage I'm looking at has a category 3, a category 4, at least one category 4
within 30 kilometers of the finish. So people like Sam Bennett we saw how he reacted during Milan San Remo. He got shelled on the Poggio. Things can change, right?
Yeah.
And De Koenig's there to get a stage win. They're gonna really protect him. Things can change, but I think Sagan is definitely this is his type of tour. But what shape? He hasn't really shown great fitness, so I have a tendency to lean towards Caleb Ewing because the team has got him scheduled in there. And Mark Cavendish actually made a little statement saying, "Yeah, this is not the tour for me to go.
Yeah.
One, I'm not hitting my mark, and two, to get over these hills and finish the tour, no way. This is one of the hilliest tours in a long, long, long time.
Yeah, big time. And I think that organizers probably did that in the back of their secret meeting room, Illuminati, to try and destroy the Ineos control of the race.
Well, the other thing about this tour is the penultimate stage is a time trial, and whenever that happens, that always could potentially lead to a lot of drama.
It's a 36K time trial with a Category 1 climb in it. It's 6K, it's 6 kilometers long and an average 8.5%.
There's only one guy. Go ahead.
I wonder if there's going to be any of that bike changing nonsense that we've seen in the past on this thing.
I loved it when Phil Anderson did it back in like '84, but just dates.
Remember when the chicken did it and he crashed like 5 times?
The chicken?
Yeah. Rasmussen.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Rasmussen. But when they had the Worlds in Norway and they had that climb towards the end, of course, Dumoulin did not do a bike change. And he was in the zero bars in that really like kilometer climb in the zero bars. I don't think, that's a power climb even at that, but I think a lot of people, there is going to be probably somebody's going to make that choice. But
all right. I'm going to open this up at a little bit more rapid fire, okay? I'm going to throw these out there and everybody gets to go. I'm going to go in order of, to start, I'm going to go in order of my Zoom, which is Jackson first, Carson second, Paul third. So to begin, any riders that you think are due for something great in this specific tour?
I think, I guess I'll say the two. I think, first of all, I think Tadej Pogačar is due. I think has been around very, very long, but I think he's young and I think he's ready. And I think I've mentioned the name a lot lately, but Sergio Higuita, I think the Colombian national champion, I think he's been touted to be pretty good. And I've seen some pretty good finishes from him in the Vuelta and everything. So I think he'll be spry to get going.
Nice. Karsten?
Dumoulin. I think Dumoulin's due a Tour de France win.
Dumoulin?
Dumoulin. Yeah, I think he's due a Tour de France.
Dumoulin.
Thank you very much.
He's the king of dad jokes. You just fucking absolutely. If you want that title, you got it. I think he deserves it, and I think he's worked it. I think he's probably one of the classiest riders in the peloton right now. And then to echo what you said earlier, I think Sagan getting his last green jersey is. I really hope that happens.
Yeah. Paulie,
I think we're going to see a bunch of people just pushing up the top 10 that's just going to rotate, and one of them is even from NTT team. He's now the Italian national champion, I believe. Nizzolo. Yeah, thank you. I think he's going to probably shine pretty good. And then I think Buchmann, he was 4th place last year. I think he's going to be on the podium, but I've just shined on some of my picks. And then and I think both Martinez and Higuita, like Jackson said, those I think there's going to be a lot of guys up front, and it'll be so tight. I'm hoping too. It's so tight. Every stage, there's like seconds in between first and all the way down to like 10th place. I think it's going to be shuffle every single day. And somebody's just going to have. You always have a bad day, they say in the tour, and you just hope it's on the rest day.
I also think that it's going to be a bloodbath. I think there are so many riders with so much pent up anger and desire to prove themselves that we're going to see some crashes, and I don't want to.
Well, wow! Really you just brought the party down.
I do. That's my job. I noticed nobody said out of the gates somebody who you think is due in the terms of Thibaut Pinot.
Oh yeah.
Do you want my opinion on that?
Yeah.
Well, I like him.
Kind of the concept of the show.
I like him, but I think there's 2 reasons why I don't think it's going to happen. One, I think Pinot is a great rider, and I like him as a person, but he seems to be like Smokey on the Big Lebowski. He's just a little fragile, So the other is nobody wants to see Marc Madio freak out like he does, like Did you see him after DeMar?
I want to see.
I know DeMar won the
hilarious.
his national championships.
I love
Oh
that
my
man.
gosh, he just
I love that man.
he's going to die of a heart attack. So those are the two reasons why not. I'd like to see that. Actually, I like Pinot, and he has an Instagram with his goats. It's just it is great. Anyway, I hope the best, but I think he's like Smokey. He's just a little fragile.
Okay. Anybody you think needs to go out on a high note? Anybody who's like, you're reaching the twilight, you got to do something great. This is your last chance. And I Jackson, are you okay with me starting with you on this one? That's probably pretty brutal.
Sure.
You got the wry mind. It's quick. You can respond like that.
Sure. I think, I mean, names like Alejandro Valverde and Philippe Gilbert, I think are names that I hope they get a stage throughout this. Carson, you broke my heart saying Sagan's last green jersey. I really hope that's not the case, but if it is, I will cry at the end of the tour and get a tattoo of his face on my back.
Oh, why so serious?
Dude.
Why so serious?
Wow.
Exactly.
I got a name for everybody. What about Adam Yates?
Yeah, he's leaving, so he's going to go to Ineos next year.
Ineos, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's a dude that has been a contender in the past, and his name came up a lot last year when we were talking about this.
Yeah, if you want him to do well, you just make sure I don't pick him, because I picked him in the Dauphiné, and he kind of sucked eggs at the Dauphiné. So
I would say Nairo Quintana.
Nairo Quintana, you think is kind of reaching the tail end, needs to do something great?
Yeah, he does. He had started off with a bang, but then we had that break, and he hasn't shined so well. But this could be a year where he could, like, all of a sudden. There's gosh, what's that Irish kid that's? Let me see if I can.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say two words.
I know what it is already.
I'm going to say it.
Richie
Port.
Where's he going next year?
Fuck.
I don't know where Richie's
Ineos.
going. Is he?
Yep.
Oh,
what?
Shit.
Yep.
Rebirth.
Dude, really? What is it
Rebirth.
about that you?
He's gonna have a rebirth.
Which means he's landed on his sword. He's landed on his sword.
He is. He's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I need to come back.
All right. I need your money.
Right,
retire. Right, mate.
Right.
I got to try. I got to do a try.
Any chance I could come back?
You do some swimming.
Whoa, that's good.
I want Richie to win a stage. I really want Richie to win a stage.
And stay upright and not break a leg or like fucking fly off a cliff. Or
it is 2020. It is the opposite year of everything.
You got a point.
This could be the year. That's the sound of me knocking on wood. Wow, the resonation of this console. Yeah. That's it. That is that. Okay, next. Okay, guys, let's get to the point. We're an hour and 2 minutes in. Overall winners. I need to know, before your team picks, who do you think are the top 3 riders you think could podium in this Tour de France? Karsten, you get to go first. And this is assuming guys like Primož Roglič are still riding. I'm not gonna hold you up to the coals here in case Roglič for some reason doesn't ride.
Isn't his name pronounced first? I'm just gonna say Primož Roglič.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an American, damn it. I'm gonna say it's Primož Roglič.
Roglič. Chai Rodriguez.
Tybalt, Pinot.
No, I think I'm going with Dumoulin and Quintana and who would be the third guy now that Roglič isn't really.
Well, you can pick him. You can pick him.
Yeah, but come on, like he got hurt pretty bad. Like I don't know, like. I'm
3 weeks.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that what's his name? I'm gonna call him a dark horse, and I don't really believe what I'm saying. but I think
there's been riots over dark horses.
Yeah.
No, this CCC guy, I can't even say his name. He rides a giant. What the fuck's his name?
Hang on. Let me see. I'm pulling it up.
Of all the people,
DeMarchi.
Yeah, I know. Huh?
DeMarchi?
DeMarco.
No.
Here, I'm bringing up CCC.
They're all. You're talking
Van
Zacharian.
Avermaet, Mateo Trenton, Zacharian. Ilner Zacharian.
No.
Cerny.
Oh, I'm sorry. Van Avermaet.
Van Avermaet
to win the tour.
Well, I mean, he's a dark horse. He thought he could win last year. I'm just saying he's an absolute left field dark horse guy.
You are a company man, I tell you.
What? I gotta say it because I'm a company man, and I also really think that he's been considered a contender in the past.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, he has been. He's always been a dark horse, especially when he's riding for
BMC.
Yeah.
What are you doing, you moron?
And look. Okay, I'm not going to fight this one too hard, but I'm going to say that with all the weird shit that can happen in the tour this year, think about it.
No.
What if he's like literally the last rider?
There we go.
That's it.
He's got Belgium. He is Belgian.
He's the John Travolta boy in the plastic bubble. If he rides in a completely air-contained, bubble, yeah, he might have a chance. But if not, dude, Zacharian's gonna place higher than he does.
All right. I just look.
I love you, man.
Dumoulin and Quintana. Those guys will be on there. The third guy, I have no fucking clue.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Just admit the error of your ways, and we will forgive you. And where were we? Who was next? Paulie, were you next?
Doesn't matter. Jackson can go if he wants.
Sure. I'll go. I think I'll go in the opposite order. I'll go for third place. I think
you can just pick any three riders you think are going to podium. They don't have to be in order.
Well, I see. This is how I've already planned.
All right, you've ran your brain this way. I understand.
I think in third place we'll see Tadej Pogačar. I think in second place we'll see Egan Bernal, and I think in first place I think we're going to see Primož Roglič.
The kid's got a gift.
Yeah, he's got that going on.
Yeah. Paul,
I'm going with Roglič, and then. Bookman is my dark horse, and then I think Pavel Sivakov will be on the podium, and not Bernal.
Is Kwiatkowski racing this year?
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
He is all about getting these guys to the bottom of the last hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm riding with Primož Roglič if he can start. Roglič, Thibaut Pinot. I'm holding out.
All right.
Which means he's fucked. Which he's going to break a hip or something. All these guys are fucked if I'm saying their names. And Bookman. Those are my three leaders I'm rolling with for this.
No one's mentioned Carapaz.
Nobody is.
That's a dark horse. I tempted to do that, but
has anybody in this room gone to the Flow Bikes Fantasy by Tissot and filled out their teams?
No.
Not yet. Haven't had time.
Jackson, you have?
I have, yeah.
Tell me your 8-rider roster of you.
Okay.
Because first of all, actually, let me tell the listeners what they can do here, you guys. You can go to Flow Bikes, FLO bikes.fantasy by Tissot.com. In other words, if you're really screwed up over all this, just look up Fantasy Tour de France, and it's usually one of the top hits, okay? And you search out the Packfiller League, or if you're on our Facebook, you can just click on the link there, and you can join the league, and you can compete with us, which I think could be kind of fun, and everybody can, decide if they're better than us. This is a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and then we go from there. So you get to pick 8 riders. You get a budget. I think what they've established are like ways you can gain more credits or points throughout the tour that you can actually trade riders as the tour continues. So you get to, as I said, you get to pick 8 riders. I think the maximum per team you get to pick are 4 riders, and I think you're restricted to 3 leaders a certain amount of sprinters, and so on and so forth. Jackson, who are your 8 riders you've chosen?
I have picked Primoz Roglic, Sergio Higuita, Wout van Aert, and we didn't mention this name, Davide Formolo.
I don't think he's on the list. I don't think he's on. Hang on.
We can change still until I think, I don't know, probably Saturday.
Because this has listed him as a starter, so I'm taking what this is.
He's there. I stand corrected. Yep.
And then next is Julian Alaphilippe, Caleb Ewan, and Tadej Pogačar, and everybody don't hold your breath, Peter Sagan.
Oh, that one, the last one kind of took me for a loop.
Well, shocker, right? Yeah. It's like somebody from New York rooting for the Yankees.
Yeah, Jesus.
I've picked Primoz Roglic, Sam Bennett, Thibaut Pinot, Peter Sagan, Wout van Aert, Sepp Kuss, baby. I'm putting him down there just for a stage or something great, which means my points might kind of suck because he's going to work for his teammates. Yep. But I'm putting him on there. Bookman and Tish Benoot. Those are my riders. Those are my 8. Carson, did you get a chance to do this yet?
No, I haven't had time.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
But one thing I'm going to question is, have we picked green jersey winner besides green jersey potential besides Sagan and
yes.
What's his name?
You were probably roasting a red pepper at the time, but we were leaning. Some were leaning more towards Caleb Ewan. Paul, I think, was leaning towards Caleb Ewan. Jackson was leaning more towards Peter Sagan. I was leaning.
I remember this French dude last year, and he's what the fuck's his name?
Arnaud
Cock something.
Cocard? Oh yeah,
Brian Cocard.
Brian Cocard.
That's
yeah. I think we should put his name in the hat as a possible green jersey winner.
Oh wow! If he's riding,
he's having a couple days in it.
B&B hotels.
Yeah.
He's there.
I just remember that name from last year.
Yeah, Cocard.
It's a French-sounding name. Yeah.
Yeah. He was third in the national championships.
Gentlemen, I say we put something on the line as usual, and I say we continue with tradition of the punishment episode, where whoever ends up the tour with the lowest amount of points has to ride the entire podcast on a trainer in the studio. Can we all agree to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karsten?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it.
You have to come up to Spokane, though.
You have to do it this time.
Okay, all right, I'll do it. Yeah, I got to I got to get my bike up there somehow, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to do it this time. Okay? So there we go.
All right.
Like that's a big chore.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
put it on the fucking plane.
I'm a rep, and I don't have any racks for my car. I got to go visit my giant reps and stores.
Okay, very rapid fire. Gentlemen, best tour rider ever, and it can't be Merckx. Paul Main.
And a what?
And it can't be Eddie Merckx.
Bernardino.
Karsten. I said
don't say
fire.
It. No.
Don't you say
it. Don't
do it.
No. Okay, move on. Move on.
Not gonna say it.
Okay.
Jackson.
Peter Sagan.
Best tour rider ever is Peter Sagan? Okay. Best, I have to pick one. I was going to say Bernardino, too. Best tour team ever, Jackson.
Oh, Ineos.
Oh, Karsten.
Best tour team ever?
Best tour team ever.
La Viclaire.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with Jackson as one team. Yeah.
I hate to say it.
No.
I'm not going to say it.
All right.
Best year you remember watching, and it can't be the Greg LeMond, Laurent Fignon year. Best year you remember watching, Paul?
1987, Stephen Roach against Pedro Delgado.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Awesome. I love Delgado, man.
Who could argue a 50-mile time trial in the middle of the whole thing?
Yeah.
And 100-degree heat? Those guys were...
Jackson.
2019, Julian Alaphilippe attempting to keep the yellow jersey.
God, I love the fact that the sport's going to carry on.
Yeah.
Karsten.
The year that Ulrich almost beat Armstrong. When he was
2003.
for that Bianchi team.
2003.
Yeah, when he crashed in the TT.
Yep.
And that's what lost in the Tour.
Yep.
Oh,
He had beat him in the time trials.
Ulrich he has always been my favorite pro. He always will be. And that year, aside from the Fignon year, which was the best tour to watch, I'm not supposed to say it, but the year that Ulrich lost it because he crashed in that TT, that was epic.
For those of you listening, you can bring these up on YouTube and entertain the shit out of yourself by watching these things.
Oh, yeah.
Mine is the A85 tour with Bernardino's crash and Le Mans almost becoming the first American Tour winner. That defines my youth.
That was a good one.
Favorite team kit of the Tour de France that you have ever seen in your entire life. Karsten Hagen.
Laviclair. Fucking absolutely. That kit is just iconic.
Yep.
Onse when they had the pink.
Paul, the Onse pink.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson.
I loved EF's kit last year so much.
Oh,
and that was pink.
A lot too.
Yeah,
we got a pink theme going on.
Pink theme.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn between Zed. I'm kidding.
No,
the Zed kit was terrible.
Reach across the table and break physical distance.
And Tonton Tapis, which is the team
that were worse. Or Castorama with the little overalls.
The bib.
Yeah.
Those were terrible.
Awesome.
No, I'm with you on Laviclair, Karsten. Okay, rider you always have and or will root against. Rider you can't stand or could not stand in your years of watching this sport. Paul.
Oh, geez. There's so many. Who did I... Come back to me. I got to think about that. I got to sort this out.
Karsten.
Fuck, that's hard to...
Yeah.
There's so many of them. Fuck.
Good podcasting right here.
Yeah, no, we're thinking. Jackson, do you have one right off the top of your head?
Somebody else come with it. Yeah.
Jackson, you got one right off the top of your head that you did not root for?
And I know I said it before, I have a tough time forgiving Mark Cavendish for what he did.
Oh, the Sagan thing.
Yeah, that was always tough. And then I don't know why, but Gaviria is always so hard for me to root for.
He's a gracious winner, though.
There's nothing wrong with him.
Really?
I just have like a weird thing against him. I don't know why.
Michael Rasmussen is the one I didn't.
You didn't like Rasmussen?
No.
I like
Before
I've been in discussions with him to come on the show, so thanks a lot.
Well,
thanks.
only because he reminds me of Jupe Zoetemelk, which I'd have to go way back.
You don't like Jupe Zoetemelk?
I think he was a good cyclist, but
we almost named our
don't
dog Jupe.
So it should be Yoop.
Yeah, Yoop.
The thing is that there used to be a joke: is why is Jupe Zoetemelk so pale? He's always riding the shadow of Eddie Merckx.
He's the poo-poo Polidor. Yeah.
He's a wheel sucker. But he was a champion, and he won world championship, I think, close to...
Is that was your rider?
Actually, I would have to say Jupe Zoetemelk. I didn't like Michael Rasmussen only for the simple fact that he was at the pinnacle of the trash, you know? Although everybody else was doing what he does, it's not fair for me to throw that. That's why I backtrack.
Karsten, did you pick one?
Yeah, Vinokurov.
Oh, the vampire.
I don't like that guy. He's a badass.
I've never been able to get behind that guy. I've always felt like, even if he wasn't a doper, which they all were in that era, that he just didn't have a good soul.
You know, here's one thing about him I earned respect. When he got popped for blood doping because it was mixed blood,
somebody else's blood,
and they said it had some.
It was
journalist said they said it was his father's blood.
Dude.
And he said, "Are you? Yeah, that's what he said." He goes, "Oh, bullshit! If it was my father's blood, it'd have vodka in it." So that's when I thought, I kind of like this guy. Yeah.
Mine is anybody wearing a Cofidis jersey.
Wow.
I hate that team. I hate that team. Even though they're the obvious that everybody knows that I didn't like Cavendish for a long time. Now he's turning on me, and I don't like Caleb Ewan right now. But I don't want anybody in a Cofidis jersey to do very well. Sorry, Viviani.
Who was the Spaniard? He just won the hill climb or the Everesting record recently.
Contador?
I never liked Contador.
You never liked Contador?
I think he's a phenomenal rider. I think. Yeah. I mean, he was. Everybody says that guy could climb, but he didn't do much for me. But I didn't hate him.
The guy could attack.
He was the first guy. He was the first guy with the balls to use compact gearing in a Grand Tour.
Balls?
You hear that, Jay?
No. Balls? I don't think
it's
so.
Right behind Jackson right now as I'm looking at it. The kid's a spinner, man.
I wouldn't call it balls. I just think he had fortitude.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sitting across from a guy who you can hear his knees 300 miles away when he's climbing, and I'm watching a guy on a screen
57 and they're still going
who spins like he's running away from something. So that just goes to show you. So how is everybody going to be watching? Paul, you're
unfortunately I had to pay for another year of NBC.
Yeah, I did too.
That's what I'm doing.
I did too.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't pay for that, but I want to watch Paris-Roubaix because I could watch on regular, delayed.
Yeah.
On regular TV. So anyway,
Jackson,
I will be off of my own father's subscription because I am still.
Shit, we're in trouble.
Yeah, it's gonna black out.
Yeah, we're gonna close us out. I'll be watching off of that. I watched the actual NBC Sports, the Euro feed, I guess they call it, or whatever it is, because I don't. But then I always watch it again in the evening. So I will say, we didn't get to it, but I will say, holy shit, watch for, what were the stages? Oh, my God. Stages 15 and 17, if you're watching the tour. If you're anything caring about how this race unfolds, 15 and 17, I think, are going to be the most dramatic fireworks days of the entire tour. Multiple category finishes.
5 stages on 18, I think. It was at 15 or 18. There's 5 category climbs.
18 has 2 category 1s, 1, 3, and 1 category 2 that I can see. So that's 2, 3, 4, and with 15. A non-summit finish. Mm-hmm. But 17 is 2 category climbs with the finish, and stage 15 is an category climb for the finish.
8 mountain stage top finishes. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. No recovering from that.
No.
All right, you guys. So the loser's going to have to come here and wear the kit. That's just it. And by the way, before I sign off.
You didn't wash it, right? You should never wash that.
No,
so whoever it is.
You're right. I shouldn't have washed it. I did, though, because there was glass all over it when you broke the glass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people asking me online about an update on Roger. It's kind of ironic because Roger's not ironic, kind of coincidental, because Roger sent us a text today before we went on air about the fact that he just had surgery on his face today, and the guy looked good. He sent us a picture. He looks like, cute old Roger, always landing on his feet, always good to go. And no, I'm not going to tell you what wheels and tires he was on because I have a lot of people asking me that. Because that's not fair to the manufacturers. We don't know if we had a one-off thing, and I'm not going to get into a gigantic banter about this brand over that brand. If you want to, I don't know. All I can say is check with your manufacturer. Make sure you got the right tires on the right wheels, and you feel comfortable with it. Carson, do you have anything kind of on that in terms of what that is all about?
With tubeless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I've made my opinion clear. Tubeless is fantastic for a lot of reasons, but if you're not running a compatible wheel and tire setup, you're putting yourself at risk. And most of the rim manufacturers have a published list of compatible tires, and stick to it.
Yep.
And don't think it's silly. I mean, Giant does it. Envy does it. Shimano does it, and take it seriously. And if you take it seriously, then you're going to have an amazing wheel and tire system.
Perfect. Thank you, man. To Jackson, to Karsten, to Paul, you guys, thanks for coming on and talking about the tour and putting our proverbial dignity on the line, because in 4 weeks we might have to do something really embarrassing.
It might be me.
Paul, I feel it in my bones that you're not gonna blow it on this one.
Well, just like your prediction with Richie Port. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit.
Oh man.
There we go. Another knock.
Yeah,
a resounding, never-ending knock. If you are a fan of the podcast, thanks for being here. Tell a friend, subscribe and like, bro. And be sure and buy some Gooders, ride, scratch, shave your balls. All right, you guys, we're clear. As soon as I can hit stop on the stream.
Bye, all.
Yeah.
Bye.
I got to make one observation here.
What's
Hang
that?
on. Hang on. Wait until we're totally out. Wait until we're totally out.
We're clear.
Observation is that the three of us